I guess we're recording. It didn't say anything. So there we go. Okay, we're recording.
Are we?
Yeah, it says Paul stop recording on my end.
Okay. Sorry, guys. We've had technical issues with our Zoom. We missed the recording of the last one. So we're gonna try this again. Good morning,
Coffee.
everybody. Welcome to our April Talk About It Tuesday. Thank you guys for joining us. We are excited to have an old friend of mine. That we will not start by telling war stories of how long we've known each other. Or some of the escapades of which we have participated. But what I will tell you is that Kenny Smiley of PSP Group is here with us today to tell us a little bit about the work that they do. And I will tell you this, those of you who know me, I've told you this. I was a client of PSP Group before I came over to back to Alabama. So I have known them and their background, and I've known their work, and so we're excited to have them tell us just a little bit more. But before we do that, Kenny, thank you for joining us this morning. Um,
Thank you for
but
having me. I don't
absolutely.
know that I like the word old friend. I would
I'm
just
sorry, seasoned friend.
seasoned friend. There you go.
Okay,
There you go.
seasoned friend. Um, but first off, just tell everybody a little bit of your background because it's a unique perspective that you bring to the publishing world.
Sure.
So a little bit about you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks again, Paige, for letting me be here. And yeah, so Kenny Smiley with PSP Group, and I feel like I do have a little bit of a unique background. Chamber industry is in my blood. I'm a recovering chamber president. I use the word recovery all the time. Paige is probably still in recovery. She just won't admit it.
Oh
But
yeah.
anyway, I am from a small town in South Georgia and graduated from Georgia Southern University, Hell Southern. And after that, I was privileged and lucky enough and fortunate enough by the grace of God to get thrown into the chamber industry as a chamber president in South Georgia. And I look back at that and I just, it's just one of those things. It was a blessing for sure. And so I was a chamber president for 10 years down there. And then God blessed me again. And I met my now wife, who lived in North Georgia, moved up there with her. And she is a 30 plus year chamber vet, and many of y'all probably have met Terry Smiley with Starfish Partnerships. She's been over there to Alabama a few times, and she's been in the industry a long time. I moved up there. She had the chamber job locked down, and I was like, what am I going to do? Well, I'd already worked with publishers. I'd produced my local community magazine, and I went into custom publishing. I published my own personal magazine called Georgia Connector for 13 years, I believe. And about 5 years in, I met Eli Luciana, who is now my business partner with PSP Group, and we started the custom publishing business, kind of with some nods and some nudges and some encouragement from some different folks in the chamber industry and how much the service was needed around the state. So.
Fantastic. And Kenny, will you just kind of define for those of us when you say custom publishing, what exactly falls under that? You don't
Well,
just do magazines.
no, we don't just do magazines. That is where we hit our mark, I believe. But we pretty much, any type of custom piece that a chamber would be looking for. We are specifically custom publishers for chambers. We have published for a few other agencies as far as like an economic development authority or for a tourism office, a downtown development authority office. But our main focus is working with chambers of commerce. And we produce any type of marketing piece that you might need to promote your community, your chamber, your businesses, and the like. It's everything from there's different names, a quality of life publication, a business and resource directory, a member directory. You call it what you want, but it's really a piece to promote your community and your chamber and your members. We produce some niche products, some tourism pieces, economic development pieces, marketing digest book, or a tourism type piece, digest type piece. We do produce maps. We changed our model with maps, so I'm not going to harp on that. For some of our existing customers and our publication customers, we do have a type of program where we might could do a map for you as well. But where we hit our mark is our custom publications and our magazines.
Perfect. Well, before we get into kind of the nitty-gritty and the details, we do have your one of your most recent clients hot off the presses, right? Couple of weeks ago,
Oh
maybe?
no, is this Kenny? This is your life. That's what it
Yeah,
sounds like.
Katie, this is your life. Welcome.
We're talking about
Surprise.
Coleman.
And I noticed that Katie just dropped into the chat the link to the Coleman team's publication. So, Joey, I see you're here. There you go. Look at that.
Look,
Um,
all my
Katie,
friends.
do you want to talk about kind of the publication a little bit?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think me, Joey, and Riley really sunk our nails into this one. It was a lot of hard work, but it is beautiful, and everybody who got a copy of it really loved it. And Kenny and his whole team were really easy and communicated very well during the whole process. So we are very happy with it.
Awesome. Very good.
Well,
See, there we go. We're done.
that's
Katie,
awesome.
what else you
Well,
got to say?
And end of meeting.
yeah.
And
Well, I appreciate y'all very much, and y'all were a pleasure to work with. So I appreciate y'all very much, and I'm proud of the magazine.
well, good. I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
So thank you, Katie. So Kenny, kind of walk us through what is start to finish. So somebody says, I think I'm interested in doing this. What does that look like?
Sure. Well, first of all, capping back on my experience and working and being in a lot of y'all's shoes, I know how many hats y'all wear on a day-to-day basis, inside and outside of the chamber. I know how much work you put into it. So, what we try to do as PSP and your publisher of choice is to come in and take all of as much work off of you and put it on us as possible, but at the same time give you as much control as you want and how much involvement you want into the process as possible. But we try to take it all and put it on us. But a typical timeline, just kind of an overview, is we handle everything from the beginning of the project to the end. For a typical magazine that includes all of the parts, you're looking at about a 6 month process from beginning to the end. And that's everything from launching the project, marketing the project, where we create all the marketing materials for you. We go into the advertising sales that last about 4 to 6 weeks, where we have a very experienced team that works with your members on getting what they want in the publication. From there, we bring in our team of writers after working with you to create that dynamic editorial outline, the bones and the structure of the publication, what you're wanting in it. We bring in our team of writers to write the articles. From there, we bring in a professional photographer to shoot your community for a few days. And real quick to tag on to that, I think that's something that's really cool. I forget to promote this a lot, but I realize it's pretty important. It's a really something cool. But that professional photographer, you can imagine how much it would cost to bring a professional photographer in to shoot your community. Well, once the magazine comes out, you receive a gallery of all of the edited high resolution photos that were used in the publication that you can use in your arsenal. So to me, that's just a big bonus that you get, with the publication. From there, we bring in our excellent designers who work with you to get that product and that design how you want it. And of course, you have full approval at the end. And we go to press, and a couple of weeks later, you've got those magazines in your hand ready for you to distribute. And we also take at that point, we digitize the publication. So every magazine is also digitized into an awesome interactive flip book that you can use online, social media, website, and the like. So
That's awesome.
that's
And
about 6 months.
one thing that I love, you guys are so great in making sure that you stick with the brand guidelines of the chamber and the community and getting that input. So
Absolutely.
just
And we do that. We've actually worked from creating a magazine such as Coleman from beginning to the end, something fresh. and branded it and all of that. And then we've also worked with other organizations who already had a publication, but maybe were looking for a refresh, a new look, and help them rebrand. So yeah, we can do it all and help you with that. And once again, like you just said, stick with those branding guidelines, and our designers work with your colors and your restrictions and anything that you might have.
Very good. All right, $1 million question. What does it cost?
What's it cost? So, well, that's a great question because it doesn't actually cost you typically anything. And what I mean by that is that our publications, with the model that I'm speaking of, is solely sponsored by advertising dollars. So it does not cost the chamber anything at all. And the beauty of it is not only does it not cost you anything, but you also make money off of it in the form of royalties. We pay advertising royalties back to the chamber in the form of non-dues revenue. And let's face it, what chamber does not need non-dues revenue? And so what's really cool about it is not only do you end up with some money in your coffers, but you end up with that awesome marketing piece as well to go along with it. So really, it's a kind of a win-win, in my opinion.
Very good.
Can I add one thing there with that too?
Yeah.
So one thing I noticed, we have people that do sponsorships with us, and which is fabulous throughout the year. But then there are some people that have never participated with sponsorships. They pay their dues, and that was all. But there were several of those that I was really surprised to see that they did advertising. But they jumped in that way, and so we were able to get a great royalty check from the magazine, and it included a lot of different people than are normally in our sponsorship realm. So,
That's a good point. Thanks, Joey.
Yeah, Joey, that's a great point. And I can speak to that as well, that and it always surprised me, when we
Hmm.
did our project that, I mean, some very small, some of our smaller members participated that we really didn't expect. And that was the great thing that, it did bring a different, engagement, different
Hmm.
group engaged.
Absolutely.
ours,
Absolutely. And
we just went out then and took all the magazines to all the sponsors, gave them the magazines first, and then we went in different places with it. And I just want to just give a shout out. Our hospital was ours was, you said different styles. Ours was a relocation magazine was the purpose of ours for people that are moving into town, that are brand new. They need to know those basic, why live here? What's the, people to call, such as that. So a lot of our industry and our hospitals are using it for relocation and for basically trying to recruit new employees to the area. And so the hospital was very, very excited, was very happy with it, and is already using, their doctors are using it to send out to different people to try to recruit them to the hospital.
That's
Mhm.
great.
And to show off those awesome events y'all have over there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So Kenny, there are different ways that the community magazines can be created. Speaking particularly about community magazines, there are
Mhm.
other publishers out there, that do great work. There are, other publishers locally.
Mhm.
Why PSP Group? What sets you guys apart?
Because we're the best.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
No, what I really think sets us apart, Paige, is I've already mentioned it, but number one, our experience. Like I said, I've walked the walk, I've talked the talk, I've been on the chamber side. And so once again, I know everything that y'all are dealing with. I know the fishbowl that you're living in, I know the politics of a chamber. And what really sets us apart is us knowing that. And another thing to kind of tag on to that is that Eli and I, Eli Luciana, as the co-owners of the company, we both have our hands in every single project that happens. And I think that is a rarity that you find the owners of a company who are so ground level and are within every project. We know pretty much what is going on with every project at all times. Eli handles everything on the front end of the projects. And once it's time for editorial, photography, design, printing, it gets handed off to me. And then I take it and run with the rest of our team. And so I really feel like that is a huge benefit, knowing that you've got us there at the front ends in every aspect that's happening. We're a boutique publisher. even though we're small, we're mighty. We have an excellent team. All of our folks who work with us. Sarah has been with us for I think almost 11 years, since pretty much since we started. We've got another gentleman, Harrison. He's been with us for almost 6 years. So, and then we've got a photographer and several designers, and that have been with us for a long time. So. We know how to treat chambers. We know how to treat your members, and I think that just adds that extra level of trust, that sets us apart. Um, yeah, so I think that's some of the main things. So we work with chambers, everything from 250 members all the way up to 900,000 members. So we can handle all sizes. Yeah.
And Kenny, that's a great point. I'm glad you mentioned that. We have chambers of all sizes in
Hmm.
Alabama. Just as you know,
Sure.
same as we did in Georgia,
Right.
from 200 members to 1,200 members. So,
Hmm.
um, is it possible for those smaller communities to succeed? And talk about some of those, particularly smaller mid-size markets.
Sure, sure, absolutely. So once again, like I said, pretty much we try to keep it around the 250 minimum. Not to say that a 150 member chamber cannot be successful, because we've done it. But two prime examples that I've got that were just year before last, and the reason I know it was year before last is because they are doing their magazine every 2 years. Most chambers are doing theirs annually now, just so they can turn over that content, as well as turn over their advertisers and their member directory. A lot of folks put member directories in there. But two prime examples, they are Georgia examples, and Paige will know them pretty well. But so Madison, Georgia, not far away from me, but they had not produced a magazine in 16 years. And I think they've got about 275-ish members, something like that. Well, we came in and did their magazine, and a pretty new chamber exec as well too. And their magazine busted probably more than 50,000. They made a beautiful magazine. It was perfect. Well, we had another chamber down in Fitzgerald, Georgia, and she had never done a magazine before. Very nervous and didn't know, and brought a couple of board members on to talk, and we went through the process, and her magazine was super successful, and she's got less than 300 members. I think she was at 230, 240. So that's just two examples right there. So any chamber who is can participate at some level and get a good quality publication out. Of course, the larger chambers are going to have bigger publications, and the smaller chambers, it's all relative, but
Yeah. Yeah. It's all
absolutely.
scale. We've always said everything's scalable, right?
Absolutely.
Everything's.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, I do want to open it up. As I mentioned, we have a number of people that watch the recordings after, but we do have some folks joining us online. Be
Mhm.
happy to open it up for y'all to grill Kenny if you would like. If anybody has any questions, you can
Be
unmute.
nice.
We're always nice. Alabama nice, Kenny.
I know. I know. That's why I keep coming back.
That's right. We are Alabama nice.
Uh-huh.
Um, wow, my accent just came out of my
It did. It
didn't
did.
it?
Hey, that's what I said. We're all the way up in Indiana now, but I'm from the
Oh,
South. So
oh,
y'all my peoples.
wow, that was bad. So, does anybody you can put it in the chat or you can unmute and ask a question before we wrap up.
Mhm.
Y'all are being nice and quiet this morning.
Still need some more coffee.
I- I'm still
Mm,
working on it this
me
morning.
too. Me too.
Um,
I
all
mean, we
right.
did good.
Well, Kenny, look at that. We did such a
We
great
did good.
I'm gonna real quick. I was telling Kenny about this and I wanted to share it, but I'm trying to figure out how to. I want everybody to see this video that the Coleman Chamber did.
Mhm.
Hold on, let me see. It's want me to okay, hold on. I want to share it so you guys can see it. Let's see. Share. Here we go. because the Opelika Chamber did this, and I showed it to Katie, and she's like, when we get our guide, we're doing this. Okay, can y'all see the screen?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, hopefully. Is that not the cutest, y'all?
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah,
Fantastic job, Team Coleman.
great
Hmm.
way to showcase your magazine and your community all in one. And I just love it. So I
Yeah,
had to share
I
that.
do
So
too. That is cool.
Well,
Very
and it
cool.
really is something, anytime you do a publication like this, or and I'm old school, I will say I'm old. I've been doing this longer than I probably should, but we did a map, and can you get to, like, maps are not they're not sexy and exciting, but people still loved them. Um, and we had a very successful.
Especially up in Gilmer County.
I
Good
know, I
Lord
don't
of
know what
mercy.
it
you
is
don't
about.
have cell service in your entire county, you better have a county map.
All right, Carla, now we just uh, but it was a moment of celebration. People were excited when they came in and those boxes arrived, and that unveiling and seeing it. And so it's another opportunity when you have a project like this that comes to fruition. It's something to be celebrated, and kudos to Team Coleman for doing that.
Absolutely. I agree. It's something that you should be proud of.
Exactly.
And that's what we want. At the end of the day, we want the chamber to be proud. We want a feather to go in their cap for the community and for their members. And we just want a successful project because after all, I mean, when the chamber shine, we shine. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
we want those publications to be out on our vendor tables when we're out recruiting other communities. So absolutely.
Yeah.
I also
Absolutely.
want to share something that we did it at the Gilmer Chamber, just thinking about these publications and the sizes of them. And as Katie said, like the hospital is now including this publication while trying to recruit medical team and physicians and stuff to the hospital. But you can design an envelope to
Ah,
put your magazine in, to mail it to people, and sell ads on the envelope to cover the cost of the envelope that you ship the magazine in.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Throwing that
And
out there.
yeah, you can. And we also do have a new program as well too, where we can actually put a shipping model into and ship to all the, to the members and things like that too. So
Great. That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, that was some good non-dues revenue for us with those envelopes back in the day. All
Easy,
right,
Mhm.
easy, easy on undues
easy
revenue.
peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just to kind of wrap things up, thank you, Kenny, Eli, and the whole PSP group. When I came back to Alabama and was blessed enough to get this position and start working with all the chambers across the state. You guys really stepped in and you support us as an association, and we appreciate that. You
Mhm.
guys have been at a lot of our events ever since I came back to Alabama, and we appreciate that. And we will not be seeing you in Huntsville, unfortunately. Yeah, I know, whatever.
Duty calls the 11-year-old in a cheer competition.
Yeah, I get it. We all get that.
Yeah.
Family first, right?
Yeah.
But hopefully we will see you down in Daphne September 28th for our professional development conference. But we appreciate that you
Mhm.
guys are affiliate members of ours, that you support the state, you support the work that we do in helping all the local chambers. And when we will send out the recording, we'll make sure that contact information is there. Contact information is always available on our website under all of our affiliate members. But Kenny, any last words before we wrap it up and let everybody get on with their day?
Well, no, just that I just appreciate you letting me be a part of this and the opportunity. And, we love to support our associations and the chamber industry that means so much to us and all the chambers. I mean, you're the ones that make it happen every single day. And I know that firsthand, so I can't say enough kudos to all of you for what you do. And yeah, I'd love to connect with you. So if y'all would like to know more, I'd love to just get to schedule what we'd like to call a discovery call, where we can jump on and learn a little bit more about each other, and I could learn a little bit more about your community and see if there's a way we might could partner together. So I'd love to make you some money and get a good publication out there for you.
Perfect.
Our
Well,
mantra is everybody has a story to tell.
that
We want to
I,
help you tell it.
oh, I was gonna say, I don't think I have my notebook right close. Yeah. Which is perfect. So, again, Kenny, thank you for all your years of friendship and all the years of support that you've given to the association in Alabama and all these state associations in the states in which you guys work. So, with that, I think I would be remiss not to end. We will see several of you, a lot of you, in a couple of weeks in Huntsville, and glad for that. I would mention September 28th, put that on your calendar. 28th through 30th will be our professional development conference down in Daphne, presented by the fund, and so we're excited about that. But since we've got Joey and Katie on the call today, just want to say our prayers are certainly with Coleman. You guys, if you've not seen the news, they had a tragic fire in their central business district downtown that affected a lot of local businesses. And many of us in local communities have dealt with natural disaster, fire, things like that. And so we are certainly praying for you guys. And if we can do anything to support you, just as I know you're supporting your local businesses, just let us know.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So with that, thank you guys for everything that you do. We're always here for you. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, and Kenny, we'll see you on the road.
Absolutely. See
All
you.
right.
Thank you. Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys. Y'all have a great day.